G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you and your beautiful face are having a fantastic day. And with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by a throwaway account, titled, "My boyfriend says he's bored of my body." The title says it all. Him, late 20s male, and I, mid-20s female, have been talking about things in our relationship openly these last few months, and last night he revealed this hard-to-swallow truth. We've been together for 7 years, and I guess I was always worried that this would happen. He says he's still in love with me, and that he still wants to be with me, and that he would never even consider cheating or sleeping with someone else. How can I spice things up in the bedroom to bring back that spark? Any advice? I just want to feel intimacy in that way again. Edit to provide more context. So this all came about with me asking him why porn gets him off and why his sex drive seems pretty low. He said that there is a lot of variety in what he can see on porn, whereas he seems to have just gotten used to and bored with seeing the same thing every time with me. He is seeing his doctor about his libido today, which may result in a medical reasoning as to why he doesn't get in the mood as often as I do. I guess things have just been very routine with us these last few years, so I get where he's coming from. Our relationship did go through some big hurdles this year, where I personally needed to do some growth and make some changes, so there might be a residual hesitancy in his mind about us that might be impacting things too. I don't know, I really just want to help fix this. In the comments, Dientecito says, "Reading this hurts. I'm so sorry, girl, first of all, but to be honest, maybe he should stop watching porn for a while because if he wants to be in a monogamous, committed relationship with you or anyone, there's not going to be variety in what he sees physically." Edit, not saying like people can't have that variety by watching porn, but clearly it's causing an issue for him personally. I don't know, but if he watches porn a lot, that means his libido isn't the problem, it's his interest in performing. He still has a high sex drive, but just placed that drive into porn instead of you, his partner. Blaming it on being bored with your body is quite frankly a rude and diminishing thing to say to someone. He can say that he's bored with your sex life because he is 50% of that equation. Instead, he's making this intrinsically about you and your body instead of him having any responsibility, and that doesn't sit right. He could be depressed, addicted to porn, or having hormonal or medical issues, who knows? To me it sounds like a guy who isn't really pulling his weight in the relationship and looking to blame you as the problem. I read your edit. It sounds like he has tried to make his dependency and addiction to porn into a problem about your body, but it's not. He's likely embarrassed and trying to deflect. He's the one who has the real work to do. You can get creative and play with blindfolds, etc., but unless he puts in some effort, his issue isn't going to go away. Honestly, I feel like these comments do address the crux of the issue. This is not OP's problem. If their sex life was healthy and good up until this point, after so many years together, it's obvious that porn is the issue. I'm not going to be one to side with the no-fap movements or the MGTOW ones because I feel like they take it way too far, but there is truth in that porn does affect your libido, it does affect your brain and the chemical receptors in there. Real life isn't always as exciting as the crazy stuff that people can put out there on the internet that is designed to be addicting, that is designed to draw you in, take your money, take all of your attention, and distract you. That industry is a business at the end of the day, and they do require on money coming in. It would appear as though the partner doesn't want to admit that porn and probably excessive masturbation are the reasons that his libido has changed so much that, I don't know, he's decided to blame his partner instead of blaming himself. At some point, you need to take some personal accountability in these situations. Anyway. Positive update. So 10 months ago, I posted to this subreddit as I was feeling heartbroken, lost, and confused. The words anyone dreads hearing had been spoken to me by my partner of 6 years at the time, and I just had no idea where to go from there. The advice I got was astronomical. So many people provided their insights, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for helping me find the courage to sit down and tackle the problems that had been plaguing my relationship for years. The night after I posted this, I sat down with my boyfriend and had a serious heart-to-heart. I told him how his words had hurt me and expressed my concerns around his addiction to using porn to stimulate himself. I asked him if he wanted to put the work in to have this relationship work, and he agreed to stop watching it and for us to seek couples therapy together. He apologized for how cold his words were and provided me with comfort that he wants to make this work. As I am his best friend and he did love me deeply, he had just lost sight of that over the years. It only took 2 therapy sessions. 2 therapy sessions gave him the wake-up call he needed to realize that I wasn't the problem. From that point on, he has provided me with the love that I had needed for years. He has 100% stopped watching porn, and our sex life has skyrocketed from the previous barren desert that it was. We are now discussing getting married, properly planning a future together, and we're tackling any challenges together instead of keeping our thoughts bottled until they explode into what they did last August. Our 7th anniversary is coming up in August. I've worked on myself too. I found that by working on myself, it encouraged him to take the steps to better himself too. We've both gone out and gotten our health in order, and we're working on the outcomes of that together, supporting each other in both of our journeys to become the best people that we possibly can be. Reddit, you're a lawless land, but honestly, thank you. Without you, I would have lost so much and had to start over. In a sea of confusion, you were the guiding light that helped me get my head on straight after being blindsided by a poorly worded confession that had been years in the making. In the comments, Married Life 7 says, "Very happy the future is looking bright. Throughout your relationship, you will continue to run into issues or situations which therapy can help with. Continue to communicate openly and things will be easier." OP replies, 100% will. Through this whole experience, I learned that relationships aren't easy. They take work, and the work is absolutely worth it for the right person. The fact that he was so willing really speaks highly for their potential future together. One of my friends is a marriage and family therapist and says he's starting to feel exhausted by the wave of men absolutely refusing to even take a break from porn or not coming back to therapy after it was suggested, ending marriages because they were asked to take a month off porn. What happened in the counseling sessions for him to suddenly have a wake-up call? OP replies, "The therapist walked us through each other's point of view on the relationship, walked us through how we met, his relationship history, my relationship history, and really got him thinking down the track of why he entered this relationship and what had him fall for me in the first place. A lot of our issues came from us losing perspective on what we loved about each other. Both of us had struggled with the classic 6 to 7 year itch, where all of the negatives were what we focused on, instead of taking a step back and looking at what actually mattered about us as a couple. She gave us pointers on how to connect better, and on her recommendation, we invested in a card deck focused on questions that would help us communicate with each other, talk about how each person felt, and understand the way that both of us express our love. She brought us way back to fundamentals and stripped back all of the extra nonsense that we were blaming on our issues, work stress, family stress, etc. The card deck contained questions about the times we felt hurt, times we felt loved, and helped us understand each other so much better. We still use it now and then to help us have meaningful conversations with each other. She also helped him realize that therapy isn't a bad thing to pursue, and he sought his own therapy to work on himself afterwards. She is still my personal therapist, and is very pleased to hear that the groundwork that she did with us is helping both of us to grow individually and together. Thanks for detailing this. Can you please share the name of the deck? And OP replies, "It's the best self-relationship deck. There's a few different ones out there, and that's the one that we went with." So wait, he didn't sleep with OP's friend, no one was arrested, there's no second swiper left account, he didn't blame anything on her, his mother isn't giving him sex advice, she's seemingly happy. Okay, this is clearly a fake post. Come on, you damn trolls. Seriously, this is an awesome post. Congrats and good luck on the future, OP. And OP replies, "Hahaha, I know, wild that my drama was just cruel word choice and porn addiction. Thank you. Crazy that strangers on the internet helped me sort my life out." Our next post is by user ThrowRA Cable, titled, "My 26 female, husband 28 male, slapped my best friend 31 female for staring at my breasts. Me and my husband have been together for 5 years and married for 1 year. I just had a baby several months ago and I'm breastfeeding her. Before my pregnancy, I was a B cup, but after having a baby, my breasts have increased to double D. My husband, of course, loves the increase in the chest size and has lately been expressing sudden bouts of jealousy if anyone showed a little too much attention to me. The weekend before, both of our families and friends gathered together for a family celebration. Everyone congratulated us on the baby and oohed and ahed, all of that usual stuff. Somewhere halfway through dinner, we were all peacefully eating and conversing. My best friend, we'll call her Amy, was staring a long time at my breasts, and I said, "You look like you want a taste of my norks," and we both laughed. But without warning, my husband slapped my best friend on the face and said, "Her breasts are only for me to look at." Amy was stunned, and she immediately left the table while I looked at my husband in shock and asked what the hell he was thinking. He said, "Sorry, I'm a bit territorial." Now, he knows the way Amy and I joke around, and he has never acted this jealous before. And over what? Her gazing at my breasts that long? Why wouldn't she? Or anyone I know for that matter. They're double Ds now, for Christ's sake. His parents saw everything, in fact everyone did, and they said that he has every right to defend his territory. I'm sorry, are we animals? I went after Amy, who was crying and already had an angry red mark on the side of her face. I calmed her down, and she told me, "We were just joking around. What if he hits you someday?" I don't see my husband capable of doing that, but I am worried about his jealousy that appeared during and after my pregnancy. Is this normal for men to act territorial during this period? And even though, that doesn't excuse him from hitting a woman who is my best friend. Edit. The red mark has by now turned into a horrendous bruise, and I'm freaking out because my husband has never shown this amount of jealousy before, not even close. And the more time passes, the more I think that she might be right, and if he can't control his impulses, then what guarantee is there that he won't do the same to me? Edit 2. I'm far from okay with it, and I've been cold towards him and keeping my distance since that day. Every time I see her and the bruise on her mark, I feel rage inside of me, and I cried this morning because I can see that my best friend is in pain, and she's still not going to press charges because I'm her friend, and he's my husband, and all she cares about is me. I'm terrified at the thought of being a single mother, and I don't know if I can handle motherhood on my own, but Amy said that she will support me and help me. When he hit her, I was in shock, but I had a fleeting thought of stabbing him with a knife that was laying in the middle of the table. But I also had the fleeting thought that I can't go to jail because I'm a mother. I love my best friend. When we were in college, a guy roofied her drink, and I made him instantly regret it, so I do care for my best friend deeply. In the comments, the Frenzied Flamer says, "I can't believe his parents backed him up. Personally, I'd back Amy in filing assault charges if I were you, and making sure that he is never alone with a screaming infant." Oh my gosh, I'm still appalled at the fact that she was assaulted, did not even think about any children. I would never feel okay leaving them with him alone now, or the grandparents since they think that this was acceptable. Sounds like a corporal punishment household. I'm sorry, are you high? Let me be really effing clear, Amy is 100% right. He hit her hard enough to leave an angry red mark? How are you not freaking the absolute F out? I'm sorry, how is your husband not freaking out about what he did? He hasn't shown any remorse? This is absolutely ridiculous, so horrible that you absolutely need to leave. You are not his territory. You need to be safe. This is absolutely insane stuff. Because he's an abuser, and he has OP locked down now with a kid. Abusers often are really good at hiding who they are until their victim is finally stuck. OP is stuck with both a baby and a marriage. I'd have gone nuts if my partner put their hands on my friend. I'm enraged just thinking about it. OP, most abusers hide their true nature before marriage or children because you would be less likely to leave. This is insane. Unfortunately, you just had a baby with a psycho. He might improve to some degree with intensive psychotherapy and possible medication, but someone this possessive with this little impulse control obviously can't be left alone with an infant. So do try to operate from the perspective of a parent who has to protect their child. If this story is true, you and your kid are in serious peril. Good luck. My take on the situation here is that, yeah, you should run. Cut things off before it does get to abuse. Physical abuse for you, OP. He's already shown that he's more than capable of leaving a pretty hefty mark on your best friend, one that goes black the next day. That's serious, damage to someone. That's assault level charges. This guy just took a gigantic leap. He skipped you in the abuse cycle, and he just went straight to your best friend who was a threat to him. The usual playbook goes that it's you, the partner, that gets the serious brunt of all this abuse behind closed doors, and then you're made to sweep it under the rug. But no, this absolute drongo decided that he's gonna hit your best friend anyway, and we can see where he got the behavior from. His parents are just completely cool with it. They're just like, you know what? Beat the shit out of that best friend. How dare she look at the general direction of your woman? We as a family put our seal of approval on this, and look forward to the day that he beats you, OP, to death also. That is genuinely the energy that I'm getting from this entire family, including this goddamn scary partner. I am scared of all of them, because why would you want to be anywhere near people like that? Update. I recently made a post about this. To briefly recap it, we were at a family celebration, and my friend Amy was staring at my breasts for a long time, and I jokingly said, "You look like you want a taste of my norks." We both laughed, but my husband slapped her without warning and said, "Her breasts are only for me to look at." She left the room, and when I asked my husband what the hell he was thinking, he said, "Sorry, I'm a bit territorial." His parents saw everything and said that he has the right to defend his territory. When I followed Amy and found her crying, she asked me, "What if he does that to you someday?" She had an angry red mark on her face from when he slapped her. I had a baby several months ago, and I'm currently breastfeeding, so my former B cups increased to double D. More than a few people have been giving me attention because of them, and my husband has been having sudden bouts of jealousy lately. Amy and I have been joking about my increased breasts. So, to get to the update. First, Amy's red mark turned into a horrendous bruise, and her side of the face was a little swollen for a few days, but has returned to its normal size. I've been massaging her injury and rubbing it with arnica oil, but she's still taking ibuprofen. Seeing her in pain has been painful for me, and I've cried a few times while taking care of her wound. And all she cared about is me getting away from my husband. The next day, after I had posted my first post, my husband had come to me and apologized for acting territorial and for striking Amy. He realizes that he should have just played along because he knows that our friendship would never cross the platonic friend line, and he'll go to therapy to fix his jealousy periods. I accepted his apology because he's the father of my child, but when we had sex the next few days, I felt nothing. Zero connection. I told him to stop on the third day when he was halfway, and he did stop and ask me what was wrong. I told him I was not feeling so good, and he just went to sleep. I kept replaying that slap over and over again this past week, and the more time passes, the more I realize that even though he might be a good husband and father, slapping a woman just because she looked at my breasts for too long in a joking way is something that I can't forgive him for. I can't continue to live with a man who would do that. I don't even feel love for him anymore, just dead feelings. My baby and I are staying at my parents' place now, and I told my parents everything that has happened, and my father swore that if he ever was at that table when it happened, he would have beat my husband into a bloody pulp. Also, I want to add that my parents weren't at my family celebration, but my other family members were, including my younger sister. They were all in shock and nobody said or did anything. My father is currently getting a lawyer for me, and the entire process terrifies me. My husband has contacted me already and asked why I would do this when he already apologized and said that he was going to go to therapy, and that isn't that supposed to be enough reason for me to stay? He called me unloyal, double-crossing, and an unworthy C-word. He also said that there were a million times that he could have cheated on me when I was pregnant and nursing, but he never did, and he should get credit for that because that's what other men would have done. His parents told me that I'm a selfish whore who can't stay true to her husband and has chosen some gay bitch over her loving and loyal husband. All of that made my blood boil, and I want to push past my fears of being a single mum and just divorce him. Amy is still more than happy to help with the baby, and even suggested for me to move in with her so that she can be there to help anytime, just as long as I get away from that piece of crap. Edit, Amy hasn't filed a police report, nor pressed charges yet, but it's completely up to her if she wants to do it or not, because she said that since she was the one who was assaulted, it is her decision. In the comments, make a police report. Did you take any pictures of Amy's injuries when they happened? Do you have him admitting to striking her in text messages? OP replies, I did take pictures because someone suggested that in my previous posts, and that idea didn't even cross my mind before that. You should have what you need to get a restraining order, file a police report, and if Amy wants to, she can look into pressing charges. I also recommend that she see a doctor just to make sure that everything is okay. I've seen people get hairline fractures from slaps. And OP replies, she did see the doctor, and aside from the swelling and bruising, everything is fine. And it's up to Amy whether or not she wants to press charges. I'm not sure if this was clear, but you can make a police report without pushing to file charges, just so it's on record. Sometimes they will choose to pursue charges anyway, but I've only seen that happen rarely. Yeah, if she reports while she still has the injury, it would be helpful. I hope they've at least taken photos. It wasn't a playful slap. He hit so hard, Amy was bruised and swollen. That is assault. I also noticed that he never apologized to Amy. You were doing the right thing by leaving. The fact that he is verbally attacking you, rather than begging you to stay, suggests the beatings for you are not that far off in the future. Congratulations on your new baby, and you have the best friend ever. Treasure that. Vilnius Nastavnik says, quote, the beatings for you are not that far off in the future. This 1000%. Clearly, he was brought up with the values of, it's okay to assault a woman for perceived disrespect, and men deserve credit for doing the bare effing minimum like not cheating. At 28, he's not going to change that viewpoint, only get more entrenched in it. I'm not trying to lay this at OP's doorstep, I'm glad she's getting away, but people really need to stop dating, and especially reproducing, with misogynistic F-words like him. It's time they become endangered. Jesus effing Christ, the bar is in hell. I didn't cheat when you were pregnant and I had a million chances? Cool story, bro. What an asshole. And his parents? Territory? What am I even reading? I hope she cuts and runs ASAP. And I do too. As you can tell from my energy right now, I am furious at this man. Jesus! He really wasn't that far from just beating the shit out of her, was he? God damn, he sounds like an absolute tater-tot this one. He's like, you're below me, you have no value. I should have just cheated on you because you deserved it. Also, your friend deserved to be beaten the shit out of even more. I hope that for OP's sake, if there are more updates on this in the future, that she has filed restraining orders, she is keeping away from him, and that please God, he is not stalking her and the family is not stalking her, because that is what is around the corner with someone this insane. Anyway, guys, I really hope that none of you have experienced something this crazy in your own life, and if you have, I am so sorry that people like that exist to torment nice people like you, because you deserve the best. Thank you for listening. Also, let me know what you think of this one down in the comments below, if you would kindly. Anyway, that's all the time that I have for today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.